What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. So today, this track is a little bit of an old one. I can't lie to you. This track goes back to around kind of like mid 2022. I'm going the wrong way. That is a wall jump. That is not that is not a ski jump as such. So let's turn around and go this way. However, this is a track made by everyone's favourite Brazilian track maker, Mr. Kevin Foiler. And I feel like it's probably the only Brazilian track in the game that I've not actually spun any laps on yet or played at all. There's a lot of tracks that I do really enjoy that we play on stream quite often. We have Fagundes Varela, which is one that has become a bit of a public lobby favourite of mine. Really good fun track. We have Patecas, we've got Carlos Barbosa, and this one that we're playing today is Ibiruba, and I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing that somewhat correctly. Obviously my Portuguese is not too up to date. Before anyone says why on earth you just said Portuguese, have a look on Google, see what language Brazilians speak real quick. So we're going to finish some laps today, see how it goes. And I spoke to Kevin not that long ago, and just mentioned, because I randomly found one of his very first tracks in my game. And you know when you scroll through your track list and you see one, and it's like, what on earth is this? I don't remember downloading this at all. And I went and had a look at it, and it was nothing but like just an open field and track, and it was like two textures, like grass and dirt, and that was it, like no objects at all. And I sent a picture of it, and then I also sent a picture of Patecas, which is one of his slightly more recent creations. And I was like, the difference between tracks is crazy. Like, you progress so much as a track creator. It's really cool to see people's progressions. I do genuinely enjoy seeing improvements, and when you have something as visible as tracks like on this game, where you can load in and purely see where you've started and where you've ended up, it's really cool to see the comparisons from day one to now, essentially. And speaking of which, he did message me the other day. A very lovely message, I have to say, by the way. It's just saying that, you know, like, I've been very supportive of his tracks over the years, and he asked if there was any particular track that I wanted made, like a track that was special to me for him to put in game. And I already replied saying, like, you know, it's absolutely fine, you haven't got to do that for me. You've already kind of given me lots of videos worth of content just from your tracks alone. But now it's kind of got me thinking, is there a particular track overall that the community might want to see that maybe he wouldn't mind making? Now, I don't want to put him into a position. I know he kind of made the offer for yours truly, and I feel like I'm almost extending it out to everybody. But if it's my choice, I don't mind having a little bit of outside influence at all. So if you like Mr. Foiler and you like the way he builds his tracks overall, and there's a particular track that you would like to see in game, do let me know. I know obviously everybody's going to go for their local track straight away. I'm more tempted to go down like the more popular route. Like if there's quite a popular, maybe it's a pro track, or maybe it's a local track, but it's just one that everyone is aware of that hasn't been made in a game yet, then do let me know, and I'll slide the message his way, or he might even be watching this. To be fair, I have no idea if he watches each and every video, but either way, let's just go back to covering this real quick. I can't tell straight away. I can't tell if it is the on-track textures or if it's just the fact that my curtains are open right now and the sun is glaring on my monitor, but it feels a little bit dark. It feels a little bit difficult to see in some places. I will try my very best to remember in the editing process if I can like increase the brightness of everything just a little bit. Obviously not running reshade anymore. Saves me FPS, saves any potential game crashes, although I will be removing max HUD for when the SMX stuff happens. I personally have no idea when you're seeing this video. I am going away, as I've probably said multiple times in multiple videos, as I always do when I have to pre-record a bunch again. I know I've only just been away, but I've gone away again. I'm going to be away from Sunday the 10th all the way through to Sunday the 17th. So I'm going to be a very busy boy. Now, for once, I don't believe I'm going to be able to have a video ready for every single day, which is something that I've been pretty good at in the past of, you know, pre-recording enough, but just as of late, you know, there's not been a whole bunch of track releases, and to be honest with you, I've kind of been doing the ADHD thing of really putting everything off until the last minute to try and get some sort of excitement out of the stress and the rush of doing everything last minute. Which is a real thing, by the way. You can search that up online. If you are someone that let's say you're a particularly smart individual. Like, I think it's more so the book smart side of things than actual real life smart. And you happen to find things fairly straightforward, fairly easy, but then for some reason, you can't understand why, but time and time again, you have this massive tendency to really procrastinate on things and leave them to the last minute. Apparently, there's been some studies done on it, and it is to kind of cause yourself stress slash excitement slash give you the adrenaline rush of having to complete something with a really, really tight deadline, which I think is quite interesting. I do find like learning a little bit more about the brain to be quite exciting overall. There's definitely things that I've learned about myself over the last few years, which has me convinced that I have a slight case of autism. You know, I think I'm on the spectrum in some sorts, because oh my god, outside of YouTube, I've got some very, very weird tendencies, and I think I've got quite an addictive personality. I'm very all or nothing with something, and I've definitely mentioned this in a video way back in the past, where if ever I do like a new sport or a new activity and I really enjoy it, I'll go like 110% with it, but for a very short period of time, and then never touch it again. Like, I have been paintballing once in my life, really enjoyed it, like so much to the point where I went home that very night and instantly started going online and looking at buying my own like custom mask and actual paintball guns myself. I'm not sure if I can say the G word on YouTube without getting demonetized at all. They've got weird policies on those, but paintball utensils, there you go. That's such a... oh god, the loopholes we go through to try and still get paid on this website. Yeah, I went home, looked straight away, was willing to spend like hundreds and hundreds, and I'm glad that I held off on... I was going to say pulling the trigger, but that's like a really unintentional pun that's funny to me, but probably no one else. I'm glad I put it off, because I've not been since, and that was years and years ago. Of course, I'd love to do that quite regularly, but it sounds like a very expensive hobby at least. Other things I can think of is I quite enjoy mountain biking. Now, where I live in the southeast of England, it's not the hilliest place in the world. You know, we're quite limited on actual good trails. I think we have like a couple of red routes, but in terms of like black trails and actual really technical stuff, it's quite sadly lacking, at least where I am, within like a hour or two radius at least. But yeah, I went mountain biking a handful of times, went out and spent about £1,000 on a decent mountain bike. I say decent, I know that's quite cheap in the grand scheme of things of mountain bikes for people that really enjoy doing that. You can get like many thousands worth, but to me, a bicycle should never be worth that much. You know, like, it gets to the point where it ends up being more expensive than your car is. And I feel like I'd rather have a decent car than a decent bicycle. But that's just me. I'm not trying to knock anyone's sport. You invest and you do what you enjoy doing. That's the most important thing. But again, something else that I got really addicted to, and then again, I've not been out on my bicycle in probably well over a year and a half, maybe 2 years at this point. So this is all to say that I think I've got quite an addictive personality, and I have no idea how we ended up on this part of the conversation. Yes, I do. It was about like procrastinating and waiting until the last minute to do things. So right now, when I'm recording this, it is the 8th of September, which is a Friday. Bearing in mind that so my girlfriend is getting the train down to mine on the Saturday, so I'm not going to be able to record videos all the way from Saturday the 9th all the way through to Sunday the 17th. So that is 8 days, essentially, that I need to have videos pre-recorded for. At this moment in time, I have one. So it's going to be quite a busy day and a half before she arrives tomorrow, although I have seen multiple people in my video suggestions channel on Discord mentioning that they want another video with her. So if she's up for it, I can't promise anything. I need to ask her first, of course. Maybe I'll see if I can get her back on the game and see if she's improved after not playing the game at all since last time we done a video with her, which I will have to check the YouTube page because I cannot remember for the life of me how long ago that was. But she always seems up for it when I've mentioned the idea over text or the phone, so fingers crossed. It'll give me a nice, easy video concept, and we'll get to sit here and laugh her getting extremely frustrated, because she is a rager when it comes to games. She gets hella annoyed. I do remember the first time ever that she played bikes, which wasn't on camera. It was the second time ever that we got her on camera. The first time she ever played, it was MX Bikes Club, and literally you hit the finish line, that first right-hander before you hit the whoops/rollers, whatever you want to refer to them as, must have hit that corner about 50 times over, just flopping on the floor over and over and over again. You could see her almost like start foaming at the mouth. She was getting so angry. But it's really funny being the person watching rather than the person playing in those scenarios. So we'll see. We'll see if we can do it again. It'll be good fun overall. I've got a couple of video ideas in mind for what I can do between now and like when I get back. Unfortunately, they're not going to be like super. Like, there's nothing going to be brand new, just out. Like, I think there's a couple tracks in the works from some of the big guys at the moment that I think will probably release while I'm away, which kind of sucks. But I'll do my best. You might not have a video every day, is all I'm saying. It might be spread out. It might be every other day or so. But in some positive news, I feel like this has just almost becomes a podcast as such, rather than actually talking about MX Bikes. In good news, so the last month, maybe almost 2 months on the old YouTubes, the views / ad revenue has been pretty damn woeful. I can't lie to you. And I have a feeling that is... Maybe it's just because, you know, like kids are off school, so they're off doing different things rather than sitting at home watching YouTube videos. I also have a feeling that maybe it's because the MX Bikes in general is in a little bit of a slump from like a gameplay physics perspective. However, now I don't want to jump the gun because it might just be a lucky streak. However, the last, I think, 4 videos for me, they have all been a 3 or better. What I mean by that, if you're unaware, is every YouTube video that a YouTuber releases, it gets ranked on a scale of 1 to 10. That is, out of your last 10 videos, where does this video rank? I'm not making that inside, holy moly. Number 1 is the best. It means that it is performing the best out of your last 10 videos, and obviously 10 is the worst. No YouTuber likes a number 10. At all. It puts me in a very, very bad mood for the entire day, because it almost feels like you failed, in a sense. Every YouTuber loves a number 1, because it's like, oh my god, this is a really good day. Everyone's watching this video, it's a good one, good job, pat on the back. So the last 4 videos or so, they have all been either a 1, a 2, or a 3. So, really, really happy with that. So, we're trending in the right direction again, and I don't think it's a coincidence that it's at a time where all of the UK have started going back to school. I believe some of them started going back Monday. I think some started going back on Wednesday. It's kind of spread out depending on where you are in the country / what school you go to. But it's good stuff. Slowly on the rise again. And I admit, it can be very, very stressful sometimes when you rely on these like numbers to essentially pay for your food. Can be stressful sometimes. I know everyone wants to be a YouTuber when they sit and watch it, but when it comes down to being your day job, and sometimes you get like a creative block, you don't know what to do a video on, but sometimes you just feel quite unmotivated, but you know if you take a day off, you're not going to get paid for it like you would on a normal job where you get sick leave or holiday leave, things like that. Sometimes it can be stressful. Now, I'm not saying I've got the most difficult job in the world, because it really isn't. You know, there's people working their absolute arse off every single day, like 10, 12-hour shifts, loads of overtime, just to make ends meet, to which I have the utmost respect for. I'm just saying that this isn't all the sunshine and rainbows as it may seem on the surface, but it's pretty damn good. I'm not trying to brag, not trying to gloat, just trying to be honest. And I feel like honesty is the best policy, and I feel like I've been very honest with you guys at every point throughout this whole YouTube journey. And I did get a notification actually yesterday that it was my channel's birthday. And I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. I didn't start uploading videos in like September time. What's going on here? But it actually refers to when the channel was originally made, not when the videos were being uploaded, which was back in like 2015 or so, maybe even earlier than that, just from being a general channel. I've mentioned to a few friends before that if I ever expected YouTube to actually go as well as it has done, I probably would never have just used my actual name. my actual name as the YouTube channel, just for like a bit of anonymity, I guess. So yeah, if I could turn back the hands of times, I'd definitely have some sort of alias. I have no idea what that alias would be, but it probably would have been a better idea, especially since I like being like a little bit of a private person. I do try and separate the two as much as I can. Obviously, when you've got like real life riding and stuff involved, there's only so much you can do, and you guys know a hell of a lot more about me than I do about you, so it is what it is. It's kind of, it comes with the territory. You know, you can only be so private when you're trying to be an internet persona as such. I don't know what other word to use for it other than persona. Influencer sounds hella cringy to me, although I do seem to have a lot of influence on people, especially in this community, even though I wish I didn't. I wish I could just voice my opinions and then that would be that, and then people would have their own, but no, unfortunately people do listen to me just because I press the record button whilst I play these video games, and it's something that I don't know if I'll ever get fully used to, but it's something that I definitely am trying to improve upon, that my actions have consequences, I guess is the right way of going about it. So after all this spiel, and feeling like I haven't actually ended up anywhere in this conversation, like again the tism is absolutely stinking up the place. This track, I really enjoy how the whoops, Jesus Christ, I really enjoy how the ruts are built. They're very nice and flowy, like this one right here. I've accidentally got into that middle rut every time, but I'm pretty sure the inside is the best out of them all. I just have missed my turning point each time. That's just from trying to talk and play at the same time. I've mentioned this before, that it's quite difficult to concentrate on two things at once, but that's just me being a man. We got one or two big boy jumps on this track, and I believe all these Brazilian races are based off real life tracks themselves. Not an average Brazilian motocross watcher. I have no idea if Brazilian motocross is even televised, but I imagine that a lot of you Enzo Lopes fans probably have quite a good time on this game, the amount of Brazilian replica tracks that are in the game. And Kevin, as I said at the start, Kevin has really improved throughout his time making tracks on this game. It's really impressive to see, and this one's no different. You know, this one's good fun. I wouldn't say that it kind of tops my favourite of them. I still think old Fagundes Varela is still my favourite. I'd love any excuse to be able to roll my arse. I don't understand people that can't roll their tongue, by the way. My girlfriend can't do it at all, and I've tried teaching her multiple times, and she just ends up being like, and it's so funny. It's just like, Fagundes Varela or Carlos Barbosa or Iributa. No? What track's this? Iberuba. There we go. Can you roll your tongue? Let me know. Either way, this is it's an alright track. It's nothing like crazy out this world. It's one of his very early ones. I believe this is actually round 2 of the Brazilian series as a whole, and he's made a whole bunch more since then. And his most recent release, which I believe was Zanzibar, at least at the point of making this video was Zanzibar, he just improves every single time. And I think the only reason that this one isn't really doing it for me is just with how dark it is. Like, my old man eyes have to squint a little bit, see all the ruts and such, but hopefully I will remember to brighten it a little bit in the editing process for you guys, so you haven't got to struggle like I am. But overall, I'm very happy. Show some support for Kevin. He's a very nice guy. You know, I didn't expect him to reach out, offering to make me a track off of his own back. And like I said at the start, feel free to leave some comments at any popular tracks that you might particularly want to see in the game that haven't been made yet. That'll do it for me. If you have enjoyed this video, as always, please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I hope you have a very lovely day. I'll catch you whenever the next video is, hopefully very soon. Peace.